Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Kinda Adulting. As you guys can see, we have some company on today. So we brought on our childhood friends, I guess the first people we thought of when we were really thinking about a long-term relationship, right? Because a lot of us have known each other since we were like under 5. And so what we were thinking is first, you guys could maybe, introduce yourselves, share who you're friends with, and just any other information you would like our listeners to know about you.
Who's going? I was gonna say, who's going first? Is that order?
No, whoever wants to.
Okay, well, I'm talking, so I'll just go.
Okay.
I'm Aria. Wait, what are we supposed to do again?
Where'd you go to school?
Okay, yeah, so I'm Aria. I'm friends with Elise. I went to school in North Carolina at North Carolina A&T State University, Aggie Pride. What else?
Anything else you want to share? Just anything.
Yeah, Lisa and I have been friends for pretty much all our lives. So
where do you live? What city do you live in?
I live in Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta, Cobb County. So, yeah. Next.
Next. Okay, I can go. My name is Alex. I'm friends with Simone. We have been friends, I really don't know for how long, since we were 3, I think.
Yeah.
3. I think our mothers met at a birthday party. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's right. Our moms met at a birthday party, and they became really close, obviously, and they just kind of kept that going. I went to Georgia State. Go Panthers. I live in Atlanta as well.
Exciting.
My name is Ty. I'm friends with Jordan. We've been friends for I think we're going on 17. It's been a long time, 17 years. We met each other first grade elementary school at Riverside Elementary, and I'm currently going to school in Virginia, but I graduated from UGA, so go Dogs. And I think that's all it that I can think to say.
Well, thank you for introducing yourselves. You guys are all exciting people. You guys share great facts about yourselves. But we're excited to have you guys. We just really want to talk about long-term friendships and just what that's like and the changing dynamics. And I think it's probably says a lot about all of us and the fact that we're able to maintain these friendships for a long period of time. So we're not trying to give advice to anyone, but just sharing what has worked for us in our friendships and growing older and, sharing how we're still here. Okay. So we sometimes do this. You guys introduce yourselves kind of quickly. So just wanted to quickly check in and just see how you guys are doing. Get any, nervous jitters out. I don't know.
Well, I'll go because
you said what?
I said I'll go first.
Okay.
Because so I'm in Atlanta right now, and for the first time, I decided to go outside the house, which is a big thing for me, right? So
the first time since COVID. Specify that because we don't want them to think you're like a hermit or something.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. But, first time being out the house, I was going to this museum. It was a nice museum. And then I'm driving to go get food. And my car, my mother's car, it just completely breaks down as I'm trying to back into a parking spot. So I'm blocking 5 different cars, trying to back into a parking space. And it completely goes dead. It was 5 different people helping me out. It was this man, he was homeless and he was trying to show me how he got shot yesterday. I said, sorry.
He got shot the day before.
That is so Atlanta though, a homeless person is going to come and try to help you out with your situation.
Whatever. Oh yeah.
And he was already out the hospital?
He didn't go. That's the thing.
He didn't go to the hospital?
And he didn't really help me the whole time. But he was kind of there. And we were using his car to jump my car, but he was inside smoking.
Wait.
Oh,
There's
wait.
so many layers to this.
Was his
story.
car
His car to jump your car. Wait, what?
Was
Yeah,
his
like, we
car
were
his
using-
home or like?
No. Okay, this is a separate man.
Oh, you made it seem like it was
I'm sorry,
one.
like
Yeah, okay.
storytelling. Okay, so yeah, it was a separate man who was there. He wasn't really helping us out because he was inside smoking some stuff. And so he had a Ram truck and it was right there, like where my car was. So we were like, oh, can we use your car to jump in? He was like, yeah, you can lift up the hood. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Okay, whatever. So we ended up doing that. And he was just like, yeah, like call a tow truck. I'll pay for it. I said, huh? And he was like, yeah, call a tow truck. I'll pay for it. I was like,
Jordan, no.
thank you. So yeah, I got my tow truck paid for. A homeless person showed me his bullet wounds. I didn't want to see that. And my car broke down. But in all, it was a good day.
How did you get
I
home?
texted Jordan. So I texted Jordan and I was like, Jordan, I was talking about something else, and then she was like, I was stranded in Atlanta. And you didn't care to elaborate the story. And I asked you why you're in Atlanta, you didn't care to elaborate. But I was like, whatever. Because I also asked Jordan, so this episode's gonna air whenever, right? But it was after the Warnock, so Warnock Ossoff, the whole election's been going on in Georgia, quite annoying to me, who's not even a Georgia resident. But Jordan, if you listen to our voting episode, Jordan votes in Georgia. It's already out there in the world.
My permanent residence. Thank you.
You own no property here. And so then she texts me Warnock,
Oh
she
my
texted
gosh, me too.
She texted me one of those like sponsored texts. Like it was paragraphs about at least we need you to vote and protect our democracy.
Yes.
And Jordan, I didn't respond to it. I was like, I'm not even dealing with her. I was like, I'm not registered to vote here, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even gonna engage her in this. And then like 2 hours later, she texts me, my bad, it was for tacos. And I was like, you're gonna elaborate? I'm like, and who gave you the tacos? Was it Warnock himself?
And she said they were good too. Like, I care. But the thing is, like, I was so confused because I'm like, Jordan, why does it have Jordan saved, but she's sending me this election stuff? She's like, oh yeah, I just did it for tacos. Like, where were you?
I didn't even care to ask you. I really didn't care. I was like, whatever. I was like, no.
And then the lady was like, you can edit the message in the front and say like, I'm getting this for free tacos. I said, it'll be fine.
You should have done that.
I'll explain later.
But I'm glad you made it
Ari's a
home,
hustler as well, because Ari was texting
good.
my whole family voting, and she was switching in between apps, texting my whole family. She's like, can I get your dad or your brother's number?
Never gave me your dad or your brother's number, so I only.
I didn't. You're right.
You
I
and your
did not. I
mom.
didn't.
And I did not switch between apps. I just changed the script. You can change the prompt. So it's like if you didn't vote, it would be like you need to go vote. And then if you have voted, I would just be like, thanks for voting. So
How much money did you make?
I can't disclose that.
Why not?
Well, it's probably taxpayers' money that's paying that anyway. So we can.
No,
know.
it's not. It's a
And-
campaign. So, who voted? How much you made?
Next question. I'm not about to answer that.
No, because I might want to do that next year. Can you really share that later on?
I signed
I
the
told her I
NDA.
do not vote in Georgia. Can you continue to text me? Continue to text me.
Yeah, me
I said
too.
I am not a Georgia
I
resident.
can't
any
vote
longer.
here. Can't do it. I was like,
And
can y'all
then
take me
I
off the
asked her-
list?
She said, "Will you vote tomorrow?" I said no, and then she didn't.
Y'all
It's the hands.
y'all was on the nines this time. Y'all were doing a lot.
Next, we have a cute little game called Kind of Adulting Fact or Fiction. So I'm going to say something and I want everybody to answer if it's fact or fiction.
I'm nervous.
I know.
Okay.
I'm nervous too.
It's only one question, though. You don't have to be
Okay, I thought it was like a questionnaire or something.
All right. So the question up for debate is, as you get older, it gets much easier to hang out with your friends. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. Wait. I feel like I should put some more thought into that.
It's like
I think it's so not easier. People have jobs.
Yeah, it doesn't get
Yeah.
People move
it's
away.
like fiction because you guys are more busy, but then it's fact because you could do a quick little lunch thing meetup or something.
Yeah, you have like
Yeah.
your free will.
Yeah, that is true.
That
You
is
kinda
true.
had a party or some stuff, you know, when you were younger. So I don't know, but I guess I would say fiction because we're busy. The older you get, the busier you get.
Yeah.
The busier, and then I think also like when we were growing up a lot, our close friends are usually in the same city, you know, because like it's either through our parents or our school or something. But then a lot of times you get older, you move elsewhere. So you probably have to work a lot harder to see each other, whether it's for, you know, a weekend trip or something. But it's harder in that sense too.
I agree.
And I feel like TV shows are always like, oh yeah, like we're just gonna hang out every day. Like girlfriends, like how did they have enough time to do all that?
So
And
unrealistic.
When I get off,
But they
I'm like,
also did
No.
like work together and they lived like, you know, down the street from each other. So
Yeah.
Well, no, because
They
even
were
when
basically
Maya
all
moved,
lived at Jones.
who was it?
Maya moved farther out though, and she was still at Joan's house every day. Remember, she moved to the boonies, and she was still over there with Jabari every single day.
But Maya and Joan, they also worked together.
They worked
So it
together.
was like, I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah.
you know, it was kind of like, well, I'm gonna come after work, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah.
And my homeless friend, she can't be at my house every day. That's gonna get on my
You said-
nerves. My homeless, yeah. Like Lynn, she can't be at my house every day. That wouldn't work. You guys to go
Lynn
somewhere,
had
get a
to-
job.
Me and Elise could not like do that.
Then we had
Me
to
and
pay
Elise
up
can
to
only
move
do
out.
like 2 hours with each other. Man.
No, yeah, we know our limit.
2 hours
Yeah.
No,
max.
for real. We've been friends since we were 2 or 3. We know when it's time.
We can't do it. We can't. There's no way.
But kill
There's
each
no
other.
way.
But I
Yeah.
love Elise though.
Yeah, and you know what? We're gonna get into that because we do have some questions just about how your friendship is now, right? So but thank you guys. Thank you for introducing yourselves. I hope you guys are more relaxed now, maybe. I don't know. I want y'all to know this is also weird for us because we do not do video recordings very often. So usually we're just like talking on the phone or on our, you know, platform, and it's like we don't see each other. So it's definitely still like kind of ox for us too, because we're trying to get more into this, you know, but we're not used to seeing each other like this all the time.
And so many of you guys. This is the most we've ever done at the same time.
Yeah, it's a lot of faces to look at too. But okay, so we will move on to our discussion for the day. So you guys know that our podcast is geared towards those in their 20s trying to figure out life, you know, and with a lot of the day-to-day challenges that we have, a lot of times like some of those challenges are, you know, keeping relationships. You know, you hear people talk about how, you know, I want a friend who's chill, we can pick up when we see each other and I don't have to talk to them every day. But like a lot of those sentiments are pretty real, right? Because as we mentioned earlier, we're busy. And so maybe the way we used to be able to sit and just talk in college or something, or I don't know, just in a time period in your life, things change, right? And I'm sure when we get older and get married and possibly have kids, it's gonna just get worse, right? So we wanted to talk about, you know, how these dynamics sort of change as you get older. And so that's why it would be perfect, right, to have you guys, our childhood friends, because we've kind of experienced every phase of life together. And now we're constantly working to maintain our relationships, right? So we wanted to have an open kind of conversation just about like how our dynamics have changed, where we are now, how, you know, maybe there's special things we do to keep in contact with each other, whatever that may be. So first, to start us off, I know you guys kind of talked about like who you were and who you're friends with, but also I think like Elise, Jordan, and I can kind of talk about our friendship with you guys and, you know, share any sentiments or memories or whatever the case may be before we really get into the depth of things. So since I'm on a soapbox, I'll start. But like Alex said, she is one of my long-term friends. We have definitely been friends since we were like 3. Our moms are really close. And I think like for us, our relationship has definitely changed over the years just because like, I think when we were younger, it was like our moms are really close. So we were just always together naturally. But I think like just one thing to point out, I definitely like evaluate our friendship is like, as we got older, I think we got closer and it became more of like an adult bond versus like, you know, our moms always having us together for play dates. So I think that's definitely where our relationship has changed. And so happy to have you, girl. Really appreciate you being here. So yeah.
Yes, I will agree. Can I talk? Are you done?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were gonna segue into something else, but yes, to speak to your point, I think when I reflect on our friendship, I think it's definitely the same. We kind of always hung out because our mothers were always together. I mean, we've gotten locked inside of malls, like, you know, you name it, we've done it. And but like you said, just as we've gotten older, I would say like it was kind of our choice to choose our friendship, if that makes sense. And I think really I would say even I don't know when that kind of evolved. I can't think of like one moment where it's like, oh, like we just started, you know, talking all the time. But I feel like it's been like more recently. Like we've always been close, but just
Yeah, I think like college, yeah.
Like more college, like as you kind of go through certain things, you just I don't know, we just kept it alive. I'm glad that we did though. I call her my forever sister. Because that's honestly what it feels like. It's just not even a friendship, like a sister. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I can go now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, like Ty said, I think we met each other in first grade. That's also kind of, I don't know. It's just Ty's always been there. And then we found out that we lived in the same neighborhood. So she lived down the hill, I lived up the hill. So our moms found that out. So we started carpooling to school every day. Every morning I would come to their house, watch MTV while they're still getting dressed, and then we would drive to school. And that was like, I want to say that was a middle school thing, but I feel like we also did that in elementary too. I don't remember. And like I just have this. You said what now?
It'd be blending in.
It's all like it's just I've always been at her house. She's always been at mine. And I have this very distinct memory. I don't even know if you remember this, but it was like when we were really young. It had to be elementary school. It was this girl like Clarissa or something. She was like
not the name.
Jealous. She was jealous that Ty was hanging out with me, and she was like, "You have to pick between me or Ty." And I was like, "I'm picking the girl that's not making me choose friends." And so that's more my girl because we're still friends.
Yeah.
Like,
and Clarissa, so she on my Instagram, so
now you shout out Clarissa.
I want
shout out to Clarissa. I don't know if that's her name.
I hope Clarissa don't know where you live.
Look at Elisa's face.
She looks so
I'm
cute.
like, I mean, even though I do know all my elementary school nemesis names, so I know them all.
No, we for real like follow each other on Instagram, so it's like wild. But yeah, she was kind of hating a little bit.
Sorry, Clarissa.
Sorry, Clarissa.
Right, that's her calling this girl out.
Sorry,
hello.
If this may not even be you, I don't know. I just remember that name. I know that much.
Like they haven't stopped. They just keep saying worse stuff.
But yeah, and then I guess like over the years, we didn't talk like every day or anything, but it was always still like a friendship. And then when Ty moved to Virginia, like it just picked right back up. Like I feel like I was like, oh yeah, you want to go here? You want to go here? And then we did. So that's our like friendship story.
Yeah, like just to add on, yeah, I think me and Jordan got super close because like she said, we found out like I was new to the school and I think you had already been there like when you were 5. So like when I found out that you were in the same neighborhood, I'm an only child. So, Jordan has a brother, but I used to be by myself. So when I found out she was in the neighborhood, I'm like, yeah, I'll walk up the hill. I'll go up the hill to hang out or whatnot. So we were like hanging out a lot and our parents like, knew each other too, which also helped to, create the relationship too. But yeah, all throughout elementary school, middle school, we were pretty close. Of course, like we went to different high schools. So, things happen, time changes things. But like she said, like once I moved back to Virginia, I just reached out and we picked up like nothing, really was no time was lost.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah. So Ari and I have been friends since we were 2. Constance, Simone, and Alex. Our dad went to college together. They saw but years later, they saw Aria at a party, thought she liked somebody else, and we've been friends since we were 2. And definitely, if I think first off, we've been friends. So I don't remember a time without Aria. Like she's literally in my baby pictures because we were together at all times. And I think so we went to elementary school together, we went to middle school together. So we were together. We were also very different people all the time because our parents put us together, but it was more like family. So, but I would say that our relationship has gotten different, and the factor has it changed is that we've had to come, I guess, like become more adults about things and like talk about things and understand like to choose each other. Because Ari and I are definitely different people, but like we don't have sisters, so we are your sisters in a sense because we've been there for like the eternity, and just my friends have been there for such a long time that we are like so content in each other's presence that is just kind of normal. Like when I say me and Ari just sit together sometimes and do nothing, and like we don't need to talk. Like we don't talk. Like we just sit there, and that's like us hanging out sometimes because it's just like family and stuff of that nature. Because we've been for such a long time and such a long age. But we definitely went to different schools, had different lives, and I think always, me and Ari were always really close. We had always had different friend groups. Does that make sense? So like we even in elementary school and like in middle school, like we were the same schools, but we had separate friends. And
Right.
then,
Yeah.
huh?
I was agreeing. Oh yeah, we never had like we never were in the same
We
friend
never
group
crossed
ever.
like we had chosen our friend groups because it was kind of like going to school with your sister. Like you're like, I'm gonna have my group, you gonna have your group, and like we will still be like family, but we had our separate lives, and I feel like that helped us a lot. So we weren't always together.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Well, yeah, everything you say, yeah, it's like I always say, at least I feel like it's at least it's she's just always gonna be there. Like I don't know, it's just she's Elise, and it's like you can't like she said like we're sisters. Like I can't really imagine like life without Elise. Like even when we like ups
I
and downs
know.
and stuff, it's just
Yeah, and
like
we get into fights, but
here goes
yeah,
Elise. Yeah, it's just like yeah.
but it was because like kind of like family. We didn't choose. It's something we didn't really choose each other. Like we didn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
like we
I
were
think
like
same for us. Yeah.
we weren't like I like it was more that it was like forced to us, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
unfortunately because then it kind of taught us to it kind of taught you how to have a sister and how to understand like there's ups and downs, but you always have to have like be in each other's lives. And yeah, when you don't have a sister, I feel like that's a good thing to have because yeah, we are may get into it, we may have arguments, but I do think as we've gotten older, we've gotten so much better at like communication. I feel like we have literally serious therapy sessions where we just sit and we get really transparent with each other. Like we will both say things that are very transparent and like honest. And that is something that I think like 12-year-old us would have not expected for us to be like super blatantly honest. A person to actually be like, okay, and accept it. But I think a question that Ty brought up that was like really good and a point is like, did y'all's relationship, was it positively or negatively affected by you guys going to different schools? Because we all went to different high schools. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we all went to different high schools from our friends and different different colleges. Was that beneficial or did it kind of create like more distance in relationship and it wasn't maybe for the best?
Um, I think that, and I was thinking about this just in general, but I think that yeah, like naturally when we went because we were in middle school together and we went to two different high schools in Cobb County. So like yes, it did cause, like a little bit of distance. Like no, we didn't talk every day and whatnot, but like in our I think with our generation in general, like social media has just changed the game when it comes to like being in contact with people, but maybe not talking every day, but still being up to date on what's going on. So like I was always following Jordan's socials and all that stuff. So like I knew, a gist of what was going on and stuff like that. And I think we were like both kind of just like discovering our own selves like when it came to high school and then even in college. So I think when it comes to like was it beneficial or not, I think overall with us like linking back, as like grown women, grown women per se, I think that it kind of helped because like we both kind of like Jordan grew like and did her journey like going to high school and her experience in college, and then like I had my high school experience and my college experience that shaped me for who I was, and we were still able to like link together, and like now I can learn things from her that I never experienced, or she can learn stuff from me that I didn't experience, but we still have like the connection, as friends that we established in elementary school and middle school. So yeah, I think it, it depends also on like, you know, what type of friendship you require with people. So like I'm pretty low maintenance in general. So like it was easy for me to just like pick it back up and be like, girl, like you my elementary, like we friends. Like I know you, like, you know, I knew you since you was 10, like it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Ari and I went to separate schools for a while, but like I think it was always kind of beneficial. Like I would not have imagined Ari and I going to school together. Because first, let's talk about the fact Ari's gonna deny this, but Ari used to accuse me of doing things. We in elementary school. She said one time I put grapes. Cause me and Ari, I'm telling you, me and Ari have stories, man. She tried to get me so many times in school. She said I put grapes in her seat, and that's why she sat on them. When in actuality, the grapes fell into her seat. And then she told her mom, and then her mom called my dad, and then I would. So, but like I feel like that helped us like not have us going to school, but like me and Arya always talked, even when we were not in the same schools, because like it was always like you can always come to me like I'm always the outside person. Same with me, same with her. Like if she had things she want to talk about at her school life that she didn't talk to people about, like I was always there, and like vice versa. Because then we always talk. And I also think different from Ty, like I'm not on social media like that heavily. So like I was actually never really looking at anyone's stuff, it's like even at Aria. So like I would mostly just text Aria, or we would talk on the phone about like things that would happen. We'd have like really long phone calls about such in life. But yeah, Aria used to accuse me of doing things in middle school to her. And then Aria would tell people that I cut my ponytail off.
That you cut your ponytail off?
What are you gonna say, Aria? I'm ready.
I was just gonna answer the question, but
Okay.
Elise has her own version of how life went for us. So whatever stories Elise has,
We already
they may be a
went through
little
this
wrong,
before.
but that's Elise's, truth. But no, I feel like going to different schools definitely had I would say it forced us to really like become friends. Like in elementary and middle school, it's kind of just like, yeah, you're always around and stuff, and I see you. But like going to high school and college, kind of like Chai said, like you have your own experiences, and then you kind of can bond over those experiences. And it comes to find out sometimes you may be going through like the same thing, or it's just like you can learn from somebody else. So I feel like it definitely forced us to like maintain a friendship or to like develop a real friendship. And yeah, positive wise, I guess, yeah, we just got closer as friends. So yeah, it's like 50-50. It can be 50-50 if you don't like manage it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for us similar in the sense of like we were just always together because our moms were always together. And I mean, us going to different schools was good because we did have our own like groups of friends, and like you have your outside friends. Like I like to categorize my friends, but I have like my childhood friends, my volleyball friends, whatever the case may be. And I think like us going to different, I would say high schools and then colleges, I think like, the last almost 6 years now, I've been out of state, for school or for job or whatever the case may be. And so what would happen was like anytime I would come home, I only had a few friends here. Like, Alex went to school in Georgia. And so I think like, I don't want to say like maybe I kind of depended on her because I just did not have anyone else. But due to that, it was like whenever I come home, we would hang out all the time. And so wherever we were in high school, wherever we left off, like when we got to college, I think we just kicked it up a notch. Mm-hmm. And so we really like, I think, revamped our relationship and maybe strengthened our relationship just because we were like really bonding as older people. Mm-hmm. And so I think that that's really like where our relationship started to grow, because obviously like, we consider each other to be like long-term sisters, right? Like we've just known each other forever, but sisters don't always like each other. And so, or don't always want to hang out with each other. So we came to the point where like, oh, we like being around each other. Like we love and we like each other, So the last, let's say like 6 years, end of high school is really when it like took off and like we were able to just develop that relationship. And I think it was partially because, we weren't hanging out in the same circles. Like we got time to bond just like us two together.
Yeah. And I feel like it's hard to say whether or not like going to the same schools growing up would have been like a positive or negative thing. I think it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it is what it is. And I'm a little bit older as well. So I feel like it was a good thing that we didn't grow up together, like going to the same schools. I feel like it's one of those things where just, you know, every time we hung out, like, or most of the time, I would say in the beginning was a little rocky.
Alex was okay. So Elise is outing Aria. Alex was a bully. She was.
I was
That's what
not-
this phone always tell about Alex.
She was
not
mean
even
to
joking.
me. She
I
was
was not
She'll admit
nice.
it now. She was not
Because
nice.
my mom always had me around these young ass kids. I was like, be grown. I was like, I want to be grown. I'm sorry, can I say that? I'm sorry. Had me around all these young children. And I was like, and I'm not that much older, but at the time I'm like, yo, I want to be around my grown friends. I don't want to be around these kids. So I think that, and like a lot of the times when we would hang out, I would say you had a lot of like birthday parties and like gatherings, like with your friends and stuff like that. And, you know, I just was off doing my own things. And I was like going through my own stuff in elementary school that, you know, it's taken a long time for me to work through all of those things. And I'm sorry for being a bully to you, okay? I don't know if I ever apologize, but I'm sorry, okay?
Aw.
Oh, look at this.
Listen, but that's a part of it though. It's like really just growing friendships. Like we all have our different phases, you know, and I think that's why like I chose you specifically, but then, you know, I know Aria and Elise can also relate, but like I mean that in the sense of like we had to develop our friendship outside of our family and our friends because we are different. And it wasn't like we were somewhere and we played together and we chose to hang out. It was like our parents put
Kind
us
of forced
together.
us, yeah.
So like you do
No,
have to develop that friendship outside. So like that's specifically why I chose you. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't have no scars or nothing. I'm fine. You know, but
I've actually known Alex longer than I know Simone. Alex, you think about that. I've actually known you as long. Yeah, because I met you guys the same year.
I guess
you were around. Yeah.
What?
Wait, what?
I'm saying I've known Alex as long as I've known you, Simone. Like,
as long as you know. No, I think we thought you meant you've known
Alex
as long as you've known.
longer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've met Alex before, just to sit and stuff, but like
no, but that's fair. I was gonna say that.
Circles. But
I was
no,
gonna say that. It's
I met
interesting.
Alex and Simone around the same time, like through Simone. But yeah,
Sorry.
but I think
and I think. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say quickly, like, and I have hung out with Aria since like freshman year of high school, and so it's funny how your friends like kind of intermingle in a sense, but like we was going to Drake concerts together and all types of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
Me and Arthur were just saying we went to pre-K?
Preschool at Ben Hill.
Yeah, we went to preschool together, so it's really great.
Like so, yeah, we're all. It's like we're all in a way, kind of like.
Really kind of crazy, like.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say, I think a good point Simone brought up about like risking your friendship, and I think just be transparent. Like, what have been some difficulties in maintaining your friendship for so long, and like, if there weren't difficulties, like, were there any rifts where you guys didn't talk for a while? Me and Ari.
What?
No, I was like, yeah. I was with someone else. I was like, we got some, but
yeah, I feel like maintaining the friendship. I guess just realizing like people change and people get older. So like who Elise was when she was in like middle school, even high school, is not who she is now, and having to like accept the fact that she has like matured and changed and stuff. So it's like kind of like relearning somebody if you're not around them all the time. So I would say that, and like it's pretty much known now. At least now we have our ups and downs. We may go through like periods where we don't talk, but I feel like we always kind of come back together. I don't know how it happens, but somebody eventually ends up breaking the ice, and we kind of talk about why we weren't speaking, and then we kind of just pick up where we left off. So I would just say, and then also Elise lives in DC now, so it's really big on like communication because people get busy and stuff, and people have lives. So it's like time can go by, and you're like, oh, it's been 3 weeks, almost a month, and I haven't spoken to Elise. So it's just really trying to make sure you like, maintain and communicate and understand that people are still growing and evolving.
Yeah, I would say me and Art are probably the most transparent we've ever been in a friendship. Like, and I feel like I think I don't know any other friendship like us that's able to sit down. I'm saying we're brutally honest, like brutally honest. Like we don't when we resolve things, we resolve it to the T. Like we go through everything and we talk about it. And that's hard, right? Like I think if I wasn't in therapy, I don't know if I could do it, but I think that's the reason that we have such good communication now, because we're able to really talk through issues, stuff that happened years ago, and like kind of resolve that back, because we have been friends for so long and we've had change. And I think what I was going to say is that who you were when like you were like 5, 6, 7, it's really hard to break that idea of who that person is and like what stuff that happened and being able to communicate that. But I would say like we have not spoken for like a month. I think longest we probably have not spoken for like a month and a half, 2 months, like 2 months of us like just like nothing. But first, I'm sure our family would not have allowed us to not be friends. I'm sure our family would have forced us back together. And then when we do talk about it, I do feel like we have went to the point now where it's like this is discussion more, or not just like we're gonna forget about it. Like we're not the friendships we're not friends that just push it under the rug and never discuss it. Like we sit and discuss it fully, and it's usually because there's misunderstanding or something that was deep seated that we didn't have like the skills at that time to really talk through.
I don't think me and Ty have ever had any like rifts in our friendship. I do remember though, our parents were like, I think our mothers kind of didn't like each other for a second, but then they got over it. And then now, like, not now, but like
everybody just giving their business to
like,
Okay.
Literally, me and my mom will like tell me, "Oh yeah, we were at the Mabel house and we saw Jordan and her dad and her parents, and I mean, we saw Jordan's parents there, or we're going to the Mabel house and whatnot." So it's just like interesting. But I thought that what like Jordan said, I don't think we've really had any rifts for real, but like I think in general, like with childhood friends in general, like kind of when it comes to keeping up with communication, or that I think it's just really important to know like what type of friend people like need, or the type of friend that you are and the type of friend that your friend like requires. Because like for me personally, like I feel like I'm super low maintenance, so I think that's why me and Jordan work so well, or like we were able to pick up just like that without us talking constantly every day or whatnot. Because like I'm not the type of person to really do the whole talking every day type stuff. Like I'm more into low maintenance type relationships. So like, but when it comes to my other, like I have one friend that's like super big on communication. So like you just have to be willing to meet with someone in the middle to like try to make it work out. I think that's what kind of like prevents like, I guess, tiffs or things like that happening, especially when it's like we're going to different schools now. Like, so we have to put in the effort to like decide if we want to actually put in the time to continue to be in each other's lives and whatnot.
Yeah, and I feel like the distance of us like not being in the same school and like college, it kind of made the relationship like more distance. But like I feel like even in middle school, like sixth grade academy, she was in A and I was in C, and those were like completely across from each other. Like we rarely saw each other. But like at the end of the day when we get on the bus, like it was always like, oh hey Ty, so what happened today? And like it's so funny because like you will post pictures on Instagram or something, and I'll screenshot it and show my mom. I'm like, do you see how Ty looks now? She's so grown. He's like, I always thought about you, and it's never like, oh, like I haven't talked to Ty in a while, I'm not gonna be her friend. Like it was never that. It was never like that at all. It was just like, oh, look at her now. Look what she's doing. Look at my friend. Like
Yeah, it's like every once in a while, my mom's like, "Oh, what's Jordan up to?" or "What's Jordan doing?" I'm like, I mean, I follow her Instagram. I'm like, well, it looks like she's doing this, or she's at Howard now, so she's doing whatnot. It's like that, but always like in touch, but not really in touch, but like easily accessible always.
I feel like, oh, go ahead.
No, I quickly was just gonna say I don't think that we've really had riffs like that.
Yeah, not as
especially
adults.
like where we haven't spoken for a while. But I was gonna just say I don't think we need our parents to ask. Our parents don't have to ask what's going on because our moms tell each other all our business anyway.
All day.
So it don't even matter. But yeah, I don't. I don't think we've really had rifts. I mean, I think going through our different periods, we've had maybe time periods. Like we were joking, like how I said Alex used to be a bully, but like maybe when we were like really young. No, I'm just saying like maybe when we were really young, we like we weren't each other's favorite person.
Yeah,
like we had
we
other
definitely
friends
weren't. Yeah.
because we were just very different and we were just going through our own things. But like I don't think in recent times, which is like the most relevant, I don't think that we've really ever had a time period we just didn't talk for a while, you know, for a reason, you know.
That's why I feel like when the question that at least asked about the distance thing and going to school, I feel like for us it wasn't a bad thing. I feel like if anything, I feel like that helped our friendship just because, you know, again, growing through different things. Just yeah, I think that it was helpful, at least from the way that I think about it, just being at such different stages in our lives. I feel like that kind of helped, you know, us grow stronger once we did get older. So yeah.
And I think so like kind of when you guys go through things and you have friends, but like how do you guys kind of maintain your bond now? Like how often do you communicate? I know we kind of mentioned it, and then like what are any like special things that you and your friend, like just you and that person, like share or do that kind of maintains that bond? Like I think for Ari and I, like I don't know, it's like now it depends. Like sometimes we'll talk every day for like a month, and then sometimes we'll talk like once a week or twice a week. But we still, so I'll probably talk to Ari at least definitely like once a month about something or what have you. And then I'm in town, I obviously see Aria, and like when we see each other, I think our friendship is different and special because like we don't really go places. Like we just sit in each other's house.
Yeah, like when we were younger, it used to just be like we would go over to each other's houses and just watch Real Housewives of Atlanta on Sunday. And that used to just
And
be
we
our
would be
thing. So
fighting.
like,
We'll be in arguments. We'd already be mid argument, and it'd be like, "You still come over Sunday?" Yeah, and we would just sit on opposite ends of the couch and just watch it and just not talk and be like, "See you next weekend."
I don't know if we ever did it when we were arguing, but yeah.
No, I remember you came over my house. You were ugly. You sat on the other end of the couch and you watched it, and I watched it and ate my popcorn. And I was like, "See you later, friend."
Well,
But
I guess that happened.
We kept the schedule. We kept the schedule.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now like Elise said, I think we're still trying to like figure out how to like have a consistent like where we talk and stuff. Like we talk at least once a month, but it's not really as like consistent as we were when we were younger. So I don't know. I guess it kind of works for us, and we're still trying to make it work. So it's a learning process.
Yeah, especially like when I'm home working, it was much easier. But then like if I was like working full time, like back in the office again, it gets harder. But I will say like we do talk about reality TV a lot because that's something we both watch and we both like discuss that. And I think with family stuff, they both know each other's families really well. We've been around for so long, so that's one thing that like we come to each other about because we know that person usually knows like the depth of like what all we're saying and understands it more.
Yeah. I think we have our moments like where we talk a lot. Like recently, I feel like we've been talking a lot, and then we'll have moments where we go a while without talking. But I think that what works for us is we are, I think, both pretty low maintenance. And so I like friendships where maybe we don't talk for a while, but like anytime I call you or anytime you call me, like we're cool. And so that's kind of how it is. Like I'm here at home. I've been here since like Thanksgiving. But it's very much like nothing changes. Like, oh, you know, do you want to walk around the mall with our mask? Like, I mean, whatever the case may be, because you know, we can't do nothing. But like, I think that's really all it is. Like, I also think my birthday is like in Christmas time. So usually what has always been with all my friends is like when I come home for Christmas, like from college, it's like, oh, we're going to do something. And that's when everyone gets to see each other. But I think that's something that, and I'm trying to continue this with my friends too, but like something that a way that we stay connected is like last year I was in New York and like, you know, Alex flew up for my birthday. And I think for us going forward, maybe birthdays will be like a thing where, you know, maybe we don't see each other all year, but like we'll make a special, you know, effort to get there. And like right now we're trying to see if like we can do something for her birthday. But I think that that'll be something as we go forward, you know, we get older and have more demanding schedules. Like, okay, we'll just make sure that we do something for each other's birthday, whether it just be send each other a gift, but like something to make that friend know, you know, I'm thinking about you, like you're still very relevant to me, you know, just because things are changing. So I think that that could be maybe what we'll be doing going forward.
And I feel like one of the main reasons why I like Ty is because like I can take her anywhere around any group. Like which was case in point at my birthday. Elise is there too. This is right before COVID hit.
Yes.
It was like it was supposed to be a group of like 12 people and only like 5 people showed up. I'm so glad it was the people that showed up because everybody was just talking like they knew each other. And then all of a sudden everybody's hanging out outside after my birthday. I'm like, wow, like y'all are actually friends. Like everybody has each other's number saved now. And they knew each other from very different like places. Like I met somebody from like high school who ended up going to school with Ty in college. And she moved up here too. So now they're close too. And so I just feel like our how we maintain our bond is just like doing things. Like if I'm doing something, oh, like, do you want to come? And like the last time me and Ty hung out, I was really sitting there thinking, I'm like, wow, like she's changed as a person. It's not bad, but it's just like I'm getting to relearn Ty again. Like I didn't know she was this funny. Like I didn't know. I didn't. It was all the practice of like joning in 6th grade. But like I was just like, wow, like Ty is
the work, put in work in middle school. I really did put in that work in middle school. When I was annexed from everybody, I had to put in that work. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like just like, you know, making the time to do little like lunch dates. I mean, of course, COVID has just ruined everything in the world, but you know, doing little lunch dates and stuff like that, like it's nice to do like catch up dates. I feel like that just keeps you, you know, at a good enough pace to where like you should always kind of know what's going on in their lives, you know, big events and stuff like that. So yeah.
And I just wanted to say, I think Jordan brought up a good point, but as we get older, I think a lot of us do yearn more for like the easygoing relationships, but also like it's important to like I don't have time for people where if I'm having a trip, I got to think about who's going to get along with who. I'm not doing it. If you're gonna have an attitude, you just can't come because I'm very like easygoing. I'm very good with the flow. I cannot stand when you know people. Well, she did this, and so I can't. And you know, da 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 da. And the whole time there's like I can't do it. And so I think like that's a good point because another reason maybe like while we're able to keep you guys in our lives and you guys, you know, vice versa, is like we can hang out with your different groups of friends that you develop over the years. And like, as you get older, like, you know, it's nothing for me to bring Alex to different groups. And like, everyone always loves her and thinks she's funny. She's nuts. But like, that's nice. Like when you're looking at like a friend, like a long-term friend, like I can bring you, like you can come along with you know, with everything I'm doing and everyone's going to love you. And it's not like a concern. I really appreciate that as well in a friend. And I think that that's why, you know, we've been able to maintain over the years.
Yeah. And I definitely think like going back to R and I, like I think it's something different with other friends that I don't do with her. Like we are comfortable in each other's space. And I feel like that's a different, like I just want to sit with any friend and just sit around and stare at them. It's kind of weird. Like I don't have that intimacy with anybody else to just like be in a space and not even have to be like talking, just to say we're going to share space together. We're going to see each other and we're going to just like eat, like, you know, and just be kind of family, like how your family does. Like you guys don't always talk, but you guys are always like, you watch TV together on the couch. And that's something that, and my other friends, like I wouldn't do. Like I don't think I would go to any of my other friends' house and just sit on the couch and just like say max of 10 words and then feel like, okay, that was like I enjoyed myself. Like that would be weird. But like with Ari, I think it's because like it's that family vibe. So you want to just be in their presence. But I think kind of going to my final question is like, obviously like people do lose friends, right? And like as you grow up, you don't have childhood friends anymore who you were close to. Why do you think you're no longer friends or close with your prior childhood friends? Like what do you think the main determinant, like the main cause of that kind of separation was?
I would say for me, communication. Oh, okay.
Really?
because like me and Ty, we can just do the low maintenance type thing, but some people like there it's really so much going on in their lives that you really kind of like you're kind of left behind. And it's just like I understand like I'm also going through a lot right now too, and especially if you're not in the same like state at the very least as them, like it's really hard to like keep up those friendships. And you might text them, oh, like happy birthday, you know, how are you doing? And then somebody might forget to text and then you don't talk until the next person's birthday. And I feel like that is like a thing that happens with me, even my mother too, because she's like, we need to start talking to people more and catching up with people, which I do need to do. But it's just hard. Like it's just so much going on every day, especially 2020. Like and then trying to figure out, oh, like what is this person doing? And if they have something going on, you just have to really prepare yourself. Like, wow, like I have to be there for you, but I don't even know if I'm here for me right now. Like, it's just a lot. So I just feel like I try my best, but a lot of friendships have like fallen by the wayside because of lack of communication for me.
And I'm just
and
gonna
parents always
let
want
me
to ask about their old friends, and I'm like, I haven't seen them in 10 years. I do not know what they're doing. Ask
I
Aria.
know.
Aria's my childhood
Always
friend.
do that. Always do that. I'm like, I don't know. I see them on Instagram. They look happy.
I was just gonna add to what you said, Jordan, because I think same. I only have like 2 childhood friends, I think. Like, I don't know. But like I think, and I wouldn't say that like my other childhood friend and I are not close anymore, but I think like we've definitely gone through things, and because of our lack of communication, maybe like we were never able to really hash things out, which never it didn't cause us not to be friends. Like I still love her and still support her, but I don't know like if we're at that, like if we're where we used to be, because we just never hash things and like just let time go on. And so I think, you know, as you get older, like Ari and Elise were talking about, like communication is really important. And when you get when you have all these things going on, it's really important to like be able to address like that bothered me, which I'm working on, because I'm pretty passive, honestly, when it comes to addressing things in my like friendships. Like I usually don't make a big deal about things that bother me, which is not good, because like I'm saying, it kind of just like leaves a little bit of like feelings, you know. And I'm realizing like how important that is, especially when I like reflect on maybe some of my older relationships. I think that communication did come into play as to like why maybe like our dynamics changed a little bit. So that's what I would say about like my childhood friends and like maybe why we're not where we were right now.
Going in with what Jordan said, like I think communication is like the biggest thing. Like communication, the time and the effort that you put into a relationship, like kind of play into like how the relationship ends up. So with my other childhood friends, like I still feel like if they were to, reach out to me or whatnot, like I'll be there for them or if they need anything. But like going to different schools definitely, causes a little bit of distance for sure. And I think that I've even had an experience where like a childhood friend that I was close to, like from like super young age, like we ended up not going to like elementary and middle school together, but we reconnected in high school. And like we just weren't able to really connect because like we just both really were two different people, like yeah, we still had the, same family connection, all that good stuff, but it was like we actually were just not as compatible as we were when we were younger because things are just easier when you're younger. So I think that something that can, cause some relationships to just fall by the wayside is just like, you grow up and we all develop into our own different people, and the person that you were friends with, and even as we get older, the person that you were friends with in college won't be the same person as an adult. So like you just have to kind of learn how to navigate through that and either, meet the person halfway or just realize that, it's kind of the time for you guys to grow apart and you can always have love for someone from afar or whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything y'all said. Like I can't really think of a childhood friend who I can say I'm not friends with. Like, I mean, I feel like we stay connected through like Instagram and stuff, like social media. we may not talk all the time, but it's kind of like that understanding, like you have your own friends, I have my own friends, like we have our own lives and stuff. But I mean, there's no like hard feelings or anything. And it's just, I feel like life is just it, people go down their own path, and um I don't know, people just grow up. So it's not like we don't speak anymore, so we're not friends. It's, I mean, like you said, like if they called or if I called, they would still be there for me. So yeah, I think, I don't know. I guess like once the connection is kind of there, it's there. Like, but nobody is really trying to be like, hey, let's go to the mall or something this weekend. It's kind of just like an understood thing. Like, you know, this is where we are in life. So yeah.
I I definitely, I guess y'all have a perception of what friends you think, like, what am I trying to say? I think y'all are thinking about friends in a way that's like, y'all were like childhood friends and something like y'all are so close, or like y'all just don't talk as much. But like my idea is like, I had a friend who like I grew up with, right? Like saw her every day, like for like years. And then she went to separate high school, and I realized that we had nothing in common, right? Like her life, she grew up way faster than I did. Like we were 14, 15, and she was taking care of her like sister's kids and like babysitting all the time. And I was 14 years old, and I could not on that level understand that responsibility. And it became weird because like I felt like I was abandoning like my sister of the sort, but at the same time, like I had nothing, like we just completely separate people, like lives past are completely different. And it's not like I have like issues with her, it's just that it would just been weird for her to still be present in my life, if that makes sense. But like sometimes like my parents will see her like, around town and like be like, oh, I saw so and so. And like I'll say like, like be like, oh, like on the phone, like, hey, how are you doing? But I haven't seen her like in 10 years. And I think it's kind of what it is. Like sometimes you and people just like, even my middle school friends, like I'm close to like two of them. But like other than that, like no. And so nothing happened. It's just not like your life and my life. Y'all were doing things at 13 that I was not doing. So I couldn't relate. I couldn't relate.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, Alex, did you have anything to say? I'm sorry, I didn't want to.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with the point that both Ty and Elise were making earlier about just when you have these friends that you kind of grow apart from, and you just realize like that you're totally two different people. And just it made me think about the point earlier where I was talking about how where I feel like that distance kind of helped us. I feel like our parents like carried us, or our moms carried us far enough along to where when we got to become adults, like we sought out our friendship and kind of made it our own thing. So I would say that's like the biggest difference, I guess, between any of the other friendships that I've had with those childhood friends to versus our friendship is just really, I think, honestly, our moms just kind of, again, like forcing us to maintain that relationship until we can maintain it on our own.
Yeah, because I don't think any level of communication with my friends who I'm not friends with would have made us friends. Like I just think that like
same.
there was no
See, I think
it was just
like
more like I just couldn't relate to your life. Yeah.
And it was like you can't force too much. You can only force so much,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I was thinking childhood friends, but I needed to say baby friends because the people I'm thinking of, like I've known them since I was like 3 or something. But I would say with childhood friends, like it was probably distance more than anything. But I was talking about the idea of like lack of communication. Like when you get older, you have to be able to like call things out, which I'm not very good at. So like I think that's like driven wedges sometimes. But beyond that, I think it really speaks to all of us, the fact that we are, able to have friends this long. I think we're constantly changing and our dynamics are constantly changing. And like I think Ty said earlier, it's important to be able to meet halfway. So, not to give advice or anything, but when you're adults and your life is so busy, you just got to find ways to like stay in contact. Keeping your friends aware that you could still care about them. Like, hey girl, I might not talk to you for a few months, but I still love you and I hope you are good. And they know that if something were to happen, you're there. I think that's like more important than anything right now. So appreciate you guys coming and sharing your experience being friends with the girls of Kind of Adulting.
We're not doing
it was
advice
great.
this week?
I am. I just
Okay.
So
I want to hear y'all stuff.
I'm gonna ask you three. Like they hear us talk all the time, so it's really not like significant. I was gonna ask if you guys could provide, advice on relationships, but I actually would like you guys to just give a kind of adulting advice, like something recently that may have happened that you're like, look, y'all, you're gonna be okay here, or whatever the case may be. If you guys could give just a quick little adulting, Fitbit or advice to the listeners.
I need a
What
more
you laughing at,
specific
Jordan?
question.
I would say, life goes on. Like, don't get so fixated. Like, if something happens, it's not the end of the world. Like, it may feel like it's the end of the world right then and there, but it's just like you have to remember, like, life goes on. You can't like let life get you that low. I mean, wait, that may be a little, because people struggle with different things. But I'm saying, like, just remember, like, life goes on. It's not the end of the world. And sometimes it's just like some things are out of our control and life just happens. So I feel like that's a good thing to live by. Um, and keep God on your side and stay prayed up. So yeah.
Hallelujah.
Wait, but I think Simone, I want Ari to answer like a piece of advice. Like, how do you like have like good communication in like friendships? Like, how do you like talk? Like, I guess like how do you talk through things? Like, how do you call out things in a way but still have a friendship?
Wait, did I give the wrong answer?
No, you gave the right
No.
answer. But I want you
Okay.
to answer this question because I feel like,
So how do we talk through things?
yeah, I guess like how, like what advice do you have someone if someone has a conflict in a friendship as like a long-term friend? Like how do you call out things as Simone said, but like still be friends at the end of it all?
I feel like you have to know your friend and know how to approach them in a way. Um, like the same way I would talk to one of my other friends, I probably wouldn't talk to Elise that way because Elise is not them. So I just feel like you just have to kind of, I don't want to say it like in an obvious way, but you just kind of have to just talk it out. Like you literally have to just get point blank, like just to the point and say, this is what it was that happened. I didn't like that you did this, and I felt some kind of way. And I that's just how I can do it, honestly. And it's just a whole bunch of like not back and forth in a bad way, but back and forth trying to understand the other person's side and point of view. So um yeah, it's literally you just have to like talk it out and don't and if something happens like today, don't wait like 3 months down the line to be like, oh well you did this back in January, so now so it's just like chocolate when it happened. So that's just my piece of advice. So yeah, was that good?
No, it's good. No, because
Okay.
I feel like we have like grown in that area, and I wanted to hear your advice about like how do you actually talk through things with friends.
Oh yeah, you just have to get real, like straight to the point, and don't sugarcoat it. So yeah.
I thought about my answer to the other question, so I'm gonna go back to that one now that I've had time to think about it. I think the season of life that I'm in right now, and just my advice for really anybody would just be, I think, showing the people that you love them. Not to like be depressing or anything, but I recently lost my grandfather to COVID, and I think that's something that I know some people can relate to. Just that's something that's happening in all of our lives, whether or not we like it. But just if you care about someone, like, showing them that love while they're here, because, tomorrow is not promised. So yeah, that's my advice.
I don't know which one I should answer. About the friends or the one about just adulting in general, or
Whichever one you want, girl.
I feel like my answer is more towards friends, so I'm gonna just do that, I guess. Um, I guess when it comes to just like friendships, kind of like what Arya just said, I think overall, you just gotta put that effort in, show that you care about the person. And I think that as we get older, we just have to realize, like, I just feel like you have to take people for like who they are as like their own person. So like, you know, your identity might have been through you guys' friendship, but you have to like think outside of the friendship and like think like who's this person as a person, and like get to know them for that, see what they need, things that they care about, things that you know they require, and then learn how to, like I've been saying, you know, meet halfway in that, and make sure that you're also getting the things that you require, and being sure that you're on top of like making sure that you're getting what you need out of the relationship, and like you're also giving what is needed out of the relationship. But yeah, I think as you get older, like adulting is all about being there with people as they go through their own life journeys, and you know, paying attention to what they need from you at a certain period in their life or a certain season, and what they might not need in the next season or whatnot. But just always like Alex said, like being present when someone needs you as a base, at least, you know, for someone that you care about. So yeah, that's all I can think of saying.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate your advice. This has been fun. I don't know if it's gonna be able to go on Instagram because as always we did go over, but we're gonna try because you know we got all dolled up and stuff. You know,
So on YouTube.
Some of us. Oh yeah, we'll put it on YouTube though. It just might not be on Instagram. They might cut us off. But we appreciate you guys coming on and taking the time to talk about your relationships and just specifically with us as well. We love y'all, and yeah, thanks for coming.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.